I want to talk about something. I want to talk about our phones, right? I think that's another thing we need to talk about. I would like to hear from you, Steffi, around what effects do you think our phones and social media plays on our mental health right now? Like in these days, in this generation, Gen Z, millennials, even my mommy is on social media these days.
I know.
What effect do you think?
My mom has Instagram. It's like, open Instagram. I'm like, what's that?
I know, right?
My dad followed me on Instagram. I did not agree. But go on. I did not accept the follow.
Like,
Wow.
He's not watching, so.
It's just, oh my goodness. It's just such a vast topic to speak. Because like, obviously, okay, it has its good side, but also its bad side. And so far for me, like on my side, I feel like it's more cons than pros. Like we've become really dependent on our phones. Anyway, I'm not gonna say like I'm not part of the game.
It's weak. It's a weak thing.
The first step is acceptance. So yes, yeah, I mean, I've been trying because I actually realized it because a lot of my friends would say like, let's say we went out and like I'm just texting or I'm on Facebook like, you're so antisocial. We need to like speak. We need to interact with each other. Like just put your phone away. So I started realizing that maybe I am very dependent on it. But like, man, I've seen people who are just on social media 24/7. And sometimes I'm even really annoyed by it. Like my own friends, close friends, like they're always posting things and I've really started vexing about it because it's just too much. And like, you know what's funny is that sometimes I feel like people, like let's say they actually post it on their status like, you know, like they post memes about the fact that they're actually addicted to their phone. And they actually find it funny. Like, yeah, okay, it's funny in some ways, but like, it's a real thing. Like, you really are addicted to it. So stop making it like that's a good thing. It's okay. Yeah, like, like don't normalize it. You have to do something about it. I just feel like we've like kind of grown into like we're dependent on our phone. It's okay. I'm not saying having your phone is bad because I feel like it has been really good to us because especially through COVID now, like there was absolutely nothing to do. So I feel like maybe, you know, sometimes it gives you some kind of balance and everything. And social media really helps you to interact with your friends when you're not seeing them physically. So it kind of connects you like to the outside world and everything.
Yeah.
But it's just the mentality that we're just too into it and that now we kind of find it okay that like we're like really dependent on it.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's still a work in progress for me, I would say. I am quite dependent on it, but I am trying my best to like stay away.
I was listening to a podcast, right, and someone was talking about a study that they did for folks, and then people, like they took a subset of people, right, a group of people and put them in a room, and then they didn't give them their phones, didn't give them anything. And they were just like, stay in a room and stay with your thoughts for a couple of hours, and people couldn't do it. They were literally scratching themselves and just like,
fidgeting.
It's so hard these days for people to sit down with their thoughts, simply because it's always like, I'm not talking to you. I'm looking at my phone. I'm not talking to you. Like that, and then this is part of the thing about distractions that, you know, when you were talking about books and using that as a means of escape. If I had
a phone, it would probably have been that.
Yep. Because it distracts us and then we don't sit down with ourselves and check in. You know, like, how am I feeling today? You know, how am I feeling about that? You know, so I think that there is need for proper balance. I mean, you cannot do away with your phone. You shouldn't do away with your phone or technology. It should be something that you embrace, right? And technology is really good, right? But then there should be a proper balance of times when you say, okay, I need a break from social media, maybe log off for a week, you know, and just check in with yourself. Make sure that you are sane.
You are sane, yes.
Or it just sometimes I do this. I'm really not that great at it, but I do. I just keep my phone aside and just look and think and not do anything really. What's going on in my head? What's my most predominant thought? What really matters to me right now? You know, thinking about all of those things. Why am I feeling the way I'm feeling? Process, journal if you need to. You know, write down why. to me, it's like you're anxious and you don't know. Because the moment, you're anxious, you feel anxiety. And then you pick up your phone, it distracts you. You spend 2 hours on TikTok. 2 hours is an understatement. But you spend your whole day on TikTok or your whole day on Instagram, and then you forget that you had anxiety and you didn't treat it. You didn't think about, why am I feeling anxious? But sometimes you just need to drop, why am I feeling the way I'm feeling, journal, find the root cause, and because it's people use it for escape, and I think that's one major thing that we need to stop doing is find balance and just spend some time to check in with ourselves.
Like you were saying, like everything is good. The problem is moderation or the lack thereof. And I think how you start to know it's a problem is, there are problems. There's like a large array of the problems, so to speak, that come with social media. This is not negating the fact that there's a large array of good as well. But like you see people, some people are actual bullies, and they probably they know or they do not care or are unaware of the fact, but they use social media as a way that they can perpetuate these violence, so to speak, on people. And these are the people that you see putting out hateful comments, or you're even actually depressed. So because you feel very terrible inside, you want to make other people feel terrible, or you see yourself finding your validation in social media. So getting your self-worth and how cool you are basically, or how sought after or worthy of love or attention that you are from social media, from people that probably do not even care a lot about you. And you see people bending backwards, basically to please and to entice a certain type of following on social media, because they feel like this is where their sense of self and their worth of self basically, and the attention brings their worth of self to pay. And so it's like a high, right? And I was listening to this podcast. We're old, listening to podcasts all the time, and basically she was saying, how hamsters run on the wheel, right? And when the water that comes through the cage, or the hamster wheel cage basically is like constantly there, they are not running on the wheel to get the water, but there are some of the cages that the more you run on the wheel, or the more the hamster runs on the wheel, that's how much water comes in, basically. So they keep running, wanting the trickles of water to come down, and that is basically what we're doing as human beings on social media. So that your life is not exactly the way you want it to be, or your thoughts are anxious, or you're just not feeling full and happy and full of life and just being where you should be, your whole total self. So we keep running in this hamster wheel of social media. You're like, okay, I'll be here for 30 minutes, hoping for that, post that will give you a thrill, or that one post that will make you laugh, that one post that will give you joy, that one post that will just make you feel all right or feel good about yourself, or maybe even address something you're annoyed about that will not make you relax. So you keep, being on the hamster wheel, running, and before you know it's 5 hours. Before you know it is the whole entire day. And another thing that you can know, or another way you can point out the social media problem is, when somebody offends you, the first place that you go to, have we been guilty? Raise your hand if you have been guilty.
I don't do that. If you have problem with me, tell me. How
you've never done it before.
I would.
I
really
you
don't.
have post a meme,
no, I don't. I honestly don't.
Low-key,
I'm just like,
verses.
if you
that's what it meant.
The thing for me is that I don't.
Then I keep my hands down.
You know the way done that. Like for example, somebody.
No, I don't actually don't. I don't do that.
No, like give me an example, because I don't.
For example, I offend you now, right? I say something that is offensive to you, and then that I usually view your status on Instagram or WhatsApp, and then instead of you to tell me,
have to do with the person viewing.
Instead of you to tell me that, see me, you offended me, you go and post it and be like, some people are like,
you just want to rant,
and then you go ranting there, right?
Social media, people are good children.
For me, I don't do that.
I just want to speak to you, basically.
For me,
I guess we deal with it differently. But that is one of the ways, basically.
People deal with it.
And so sometimes you have to check yourself and you're like, tat, let's not do that. Let's not. Say things with your chest. So basically, those are, I was just trying to say that those are some of the things, you know, you have to check. And constantly being on this hamster wheel race or rat chase, it's very tiring, you know. So what I do is sometimes I put my phone has this focus mode or work mode or me mode.
My
So it's called focus mode on
Focus
Samsung.
mode, yeah.
I don't
You
see
have it as well.
I don't do notification. I have to be intentional, so I don't allow notifications distract me anymore. It's on do not disturb. When I want to go to my phone, I have like, Timmy, now you're going to your phone.
Like the willpower
when
to,
I have
kind of
it's your
being in
own
control.
decision,
Yeah.
to control it,
when I have mine on do not disturb, it doesn't work because I will still go
You
to
will
it
still go
and check.
and
So what I
check,
do is I
that's
put it on
true.
focus mode, and what focus mode does is it freezes the apps. So you only have like emergency for your phone and message. You don't have social media. You don't have any of
WhatsApp,
that.
nothing,
And then it shows you how long the time you've been
Like
on
the
focus
amount of
mode
hours,
for. Exactly. So like for example, if I say I'm going to do 2 hours at work or my thesis or whatever it is, and then I have focus mode, before I know it, subconsciously my hand reaches for the phone, and I'm like, yeah, this is a problem. And then I go and I'm like, oh, let's just check quick Instagram. I'm supposed to be working, and that's when I'm now like, oh, focus mode, and then I just stop and I'm like, what is that? So you forgot that you were supposed to be doing this, and then I find myself like 2, 3, 4 times I would still go back to the phone trying to check, and then I see focus mode and I'm like,
it's actually amazing the amount of time you would know that you have if you are off your phone. Because you know the way we are always like, I'm
time.
really busy, no time, no time. You know, if you say my phone is going to be off for 24 hours, I'm just going to do work, right, and eat and do normal stuff and just not be on my phone. You'll be like, at some point, you'll just be like, there's some, like, this gap. Like, what do I do now?
nothing to
You'll
do.
be like, I'm actually free.
I think the moment of truth is when you're back home and there's no lights. And they're like, no, they're not putting on the gen. You know? And so you have like, your phones are flat. There's no generator.
No, you just know that I actually have a lot of time on my hands.
You just be like, what do I do now? Like, what do we do? There's
what do
no
I do with my
TV.
life? Exactly.
Yeah, everything is
do you
dead. All
actually
your
do with your
gadgets are.
life?
That's when the truth actually
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. So I think just to
This has been a
maybe
nice
round
conversation,
up,
honestly.
I think that it's important that we are intentional and very aware about where we are mentally.
Absolutely.
I know this for a fact that the human brain doesn't like to work in a reactive mode. It likes to be in control and know what is going to happen, right? Like know what is going to be doing part time. I'll give an example. So it's better to do more proactive work than reactive work and be like, Leah, I have this target to make, okay? I'm supposed to work for 5 hours. I'm supposed to churn out this blah, 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 blah stuff today. And you're telling yourself, Leah, you get to do this. So you're in control, right? From 9 till 12, I'm going to be doing this. Like you are the one, like the power is in your hands. And you're like, okay, I'm going to be focusing on this, right? And then it's just good for your brain because your brain likes to know that I'm in control, like not the first thing that comes, like reactive. And that's one thing with notifications. Like you're working and then you see that ping from Instagram, you see that ping from Facebook, and then you have to go there and check. The brain likes to know, okay, this time I'm in control. So I choose to do what I want to do part time. I'm not going to let anyone
Dictate.
Tell me, control.
There's another conversation there, and I want to round up, but the conversation on, this is important, saying no.